Hey, stadium seats. We're the best in the world. We're the best in podcasting. Yo, Gemz, let them know.
Red bottom tape, Frizz on the way, Gemz on the mic, and you know he don't play. Every seat packed, the fans go cray. Stream after stream, now what they gon' say? Frizz on the beat, Tay brings the heat. Stadium seats without Gemz ain't complete. The tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans that been rocking with us lately. Love.
Stadium seats. Frizz, Gemz, Tay, we the best. Stadium seats, Frizz, Gemz, and Tay.
Hey.
Whoa, who's that?
That's the red bottom queen. I'm back.
Yo, Gemz.
I'm speechless that she's
Yeah.
here.
I know y'all miss me, but
Welcome back to the show.
thank you. Y'all are so wonderful.
Speechless.
So, did you get your sickness under control?
Yes, I just want to clarify that I never had and I do not have the coronavirus.
Well, that's good. So we're good, Gemz.
It's good.
Y'all
I
are
think
cleared.
I think Frizz cleared that up though last episode, but
Good.
we're all good.
Good.
Yeah, no doubt. Me and Gemz been grinding here at Stadium Seats Podcast at gmail.com.
I know you guys are killing it. I was kind of like, maybe they're doing pretty good on their own. And then I said, nope, I can always liven it up.
Were you getting jealous?
A little bit. Low key, I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, they're
Yeah,
gelling
we know.
really cool. Like, they're
It's
not
all
even
good.
missing me.
Hit us
Well,
up
you
on
know.
our Twitter
Thanks.
at Seat Stadium.
Well, you know.
I've noticed Frizz is real quiet. He's not saying anything.
I'm just here. It's Saturday. It's a weekend. We got a good show for y'all today. We're going to talk about the Myles Garrett situation. We're going to talk about NBA All-Star Weekend. Okay, the dunk contest. It's pretty exciting to watch. We're going to talk about the Houston Astros.
That's right.
And we're also going to talk about the XFL a little bit because,
Yeah.
hey, it seems we see what everybody's talking about right
Yeah.
now. So,
It's actually pretty interesting.
without further ado, let's dip into Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph. Touchy situation here, guys.
Wait, first I want to say that I've been gone for a week and you have like all these little cool little sound bites on there. Way to go, team.
No doubt. Appreciate that.
Well, you know what that means, Tay.
I know things are changing and I'm not a part of it. Now I'm jealous.
Things get done. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm joking. Go ahead.
Well, things have to get done. So
Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph.
y'all did a good job.
Thank you. Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph. Myles Garrett had his first interview after being reinstated into the NFL after his suspension for ripping off Mason Rudolph's helmet back in November. We know what happened. We know apparently there was some things said, but we don't know who's telling the truth. But he came out with his first interview. He sat down with ESPN, and they asked him about what happened. Now, we're not going to really get into the word that was said, but we will just say it was racial, apparently. Okay, so Myles Garrett, before I let y'all go, I'll just kind of let the listeners know if they don't know. He called me a racial slur word. That's all I'll say. I know what happened, and I know what I heard. Once Mason Rudolph saw this interview, he tweeted out, "This is 1,000% false. This is a bold-faced lie. I did not, have not, and would never utter a racial slur. This is a disgusting and reckless attempt to assassinate my character." Mike Tomlin came out also with a statement. I'll just kind of paraphrase it. He supports Mason Rudolph not only because I know him, but because that I was on the field immediately following the altercation with Garrett, and subsequently after the game, I interacted with a lot of people in the Cleveland Browns organization, blah, blah, blah. I received no indication of anything racial or anything of that nature in those interactions. So what do we take from this, guys? Gemz, just go ahead and start it off.
Well, this situation is unfortunate because you got one player, Myles Garrett, saying he said something, the worst word ever, and then you have, Mason Rudolph saying I didn't say it at all. So it's a he say, she said situation there. But what I'm skeptical about is, if he did say it, which I don't think he did, but if he did say it, then there's mics everywhere on the field, right? Wouldn't they have picked that up if he said that?
Absolutely.
And there's mics everywhere. So that's a little skeptical that it wasn't picked up, or if it was said, it would have been picked up. So you know what? This is an unfortunate situation. Like he feels that he heard that word, and then Mason Rudolph says, I didn't say it. So, and if you looked at the film and you looked at the footage, he had, some big guys backing him up that were throwing punches
Right.
for him. So it's like, if that word's getting said around, and things of that nature, I'm pretty sure that it came out, after the game or weeks after. So it's just an unfortunate situation there. Just anything with racial slurs is just ugly, and I just don't, care to even speak about stuff like that. So, but we got to do our job here. So, but no, it's a he said, she said situation. I think a mic would have picked that up if that was said.
I agree.
So that's my take on it.
Tay, what do you got?
Well, in my opinion, I don't believe that Mason Rudolph said that or anything close to that. Like Gemz said, there's a lot of mics in and around the field that would have picked up something. And that's not the case. Not only that were there mics, but there was numerous players, referees, refs that were around there. Nobody can back up Myles Garrett. Nobody can agree with him, not even a little bit, or the idea of it might being true. Everybody from both teams and the officials have denied that came from Mason Rudolph's mouth. And I don't believe it's true. There's nothing to support that except one man. Everybody else that's on the field that was in and around the incident has denied it. So, no.
Yeah, and there was something scrolling across the bottom of the screen this morning as I was watching that first quarter of the XFL game today that said the NFL said that all mics are shut off after the snap of the ball. But yet, look, on the sideline, for NFL Films purposes, they have those big dome mics that are projected onto the field so you can get the sights and the sounds and everything from the game. Right. And, Myles Garrett said that Rudolph took off the helmet that he was hit with before and it didn't have a microphone in it. Like, that does not make any sense. A QB in the NFL has a mic and a speaker in there so they can hear the play call.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. It's just stupid. It's in the news. That's why we're talking about it here. And it's just who's right, who's wrong. And like Jim said, he said in this situation. But they need to put it to bed now. Whatever. The guy's reinstated. To me, his career is already, tainted, maybe, if you would say, because that's kind of a reckless deal. So, move on with it. But
not only that, but he didn't bring this up until after the suspension from the NFL came down on him. So it seems to me that he was trying to justify his actions. If this was true, he would have come out and said immediately, when very first question, when somebody asked him, why did you do it? Well, here's why. He didn't bring this up until after, way, way after the fact. So, no, Myles Garrett, sit down.
Nice.
Told you I'm back.
Oh. NBA All-Star Weekend here at Stadium Seats. Gemz and Tay, tonight is the Slam Dunk Contest. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Slam Dunk Contest. Gemz, you're a basketball guy. Do you enjoy watching the Slam Dunk Contest?
I do. I enjoy it. I still think the dunk contest has some credibility still. I wish that there was more of the star players that would participate in the dunk contest. And I know why they don't do they could get injured or just resting their bodies. It's All-Star Weekend, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. But that it also gives a chance to the young fellas out there to bring some excitement to the fans and to the game and to the contest as well. But I do think that there is some excitement with the dunk contest. I mean, who doesn't like a cool dunk, right?
Right.
So, and you got the younger viewers, the kids out there that that wish they could dunk, right? Just like when we were young, we wish we could dunk the ball. Like, man, I wish I could do that. So I still think there is some excitement when it comes to the dunk contest. And the 3-point contest, I still think there's excitement with that. I mean, it's awesome to see sharpshooters going around and just hitting threes, so who can make the most threes. For me, I think that's exciting. But regarding the dunk contest, I'm excited for it tonight. I'm going old school. Dwight Howard, he's Superman. So I'm thinking that he's going to bring it on home. I know he's not really the favorite, but I'm going with Dwight Howard.
Hey, can before we all get our picks,
Yeah.
like there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in it?
Yeah, so last
What
year,
happened?
yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, Frizz. Like, a lot of people don't want to do it due to injury, and this is All-Star Weekend, where this is a time where some of the players they just need to rest. They need to rest. I mean, it's a brutal schedule within the NBA. They're playing like 3-4 times a night. So some of these guys just got off the plane and heading to Chicago just to join the festivities. So I can see why they're not participating. But you would want to see like the younger players, right? That's just got drafted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would want to see that, but the guys have been in the league for more than 5 years or and up, they're not going to join this. They're just they want to be excited too. They want to give that opportunity to the young guys. So hopefully this next year and the years to come, they start drawing some younger guys. Like I would like to see Zion in it next year, right? Like that would
or
be
LeBron.
Yeah, like why aren't those guys in it? Like
if LeBron's in it, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, but LeBron's not going to be in it. I mean, he's not going to be in it. But someone now, I think Zion would have been in it if he didn't get hurt, right? So someone like Zion would bring the slam dunk contest back, don't you think?
My point though was you got to put more than 4 guys in it.
Absolutely. There was a time when there was like a whole lot more than 4 guys.
Right. Like a couple of years ago, there was more than 4 guys.
It made it fun, lively, interesting, competitive. And I don't think I ever really saw injuries on there.
And I kind of like the old school dunk championships a little bit growing up, and where they didn't bring all these props in, right?
Right.
Like Blake Griffin a couple years ago jumped over a freaking car.
Oh, that was awesome. See, that was awesome.
They put a car out on there, right? And he jumped over it or whatever, over the hood or whatever. But, and then they got the chairs going out there now. And, they got people standing up there on somebody's shoulders holding up a ball. I mean, they're trying to get creative. So as we talk about it, and Tay, before we move on, who do you think's going to win this dunk championship?
I got Derrick Jones. out of Miami.
Nice.
You picked Dwight Howard, Gemz, and I read a report on ESPN that he's planning like a tribute to Kobe because before Kobe's tragic death or whatnot, he had announced he was going to be in the slam dunk competition, and he had hoped for Kobe to work with him. So obviously we know that's not going to happen. So he has come out publicly and said that he's going to have like a little tribute to Kobe. So I'm definitely excited to see that. Always a fan of I'm sorry, excuse me. Always a fan of I'm sorry, my throat.
Oh my Lord.
Gosh. Sorry, my throat's killing me.
She's out.
Sorry, fans.
Always a big fan of Dwight Howard, but I'm going with Derrick Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tay is officially about to be on the injured reserve team on stadium
I feel
seats.
like I've been on the injured reserve list for way too long. I'm back. I'm fighting this.
Okay.
I was about to cuss, but I'm not.
My pick is, you guys took Howard, and there's only 4 guys to choose from.
How sad.
I'm going with Aaron Gordon, from Orlando.
He's the favorite, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know he was a favorite because there's only 4 guys. But I'm going with Aaron from the Magic. I think that he can, he finished second, I believe, last year?
Mm-hmm.
And he's explosive, so we'll see what he can do. This is the first time this has been in Chicago since 1988 when the great Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins battled it out. Okay, and Jordan took that crown in Chicago. Oh, yeah. And, those were battles right there. So before we move on to our next topic, Gemz, who is your all-time favorite winner of the dunk contest in the NBA?
Well, you mentioned it. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan, but Dominique Wilkins is right behind him. Dominique Wilkins was a 9-time All-Star. And around that time, the 1988 Slam Dunk contest is still being talked about between him and Michael Jordan, the epic battle between Air Jordan and the human highlight. That was amazing. So when the fans out there, basketball fans, people that are very young, if you never seen clips of this before, go on YouTube. I know there's access to this dunk contest back in 1988 where Michael Jordan soared from the foul line.
Yeah, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that created the Michael Jordan emblem that you see everywhere.
That really did.
Yeah, I know.
That was cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's everywhere now.
It's
even
everywhere
on
now.
Jerseys.
Right. Hit by him just soaring through the, from the foul line. That created a very, very popular brand for Michael Jordan. But also, no one will never forget the electricity in the building was off the charts between those two guys when they were battling out. So good pick for it. 1998 was the epic battle. Air Jordan, human highlight. That was just amazing.
Tay, who was your favorite, if you can remember? I know you probably, didn't watch it too much back then when you were a kid, but who was your favorite?
I'm younger than you all, so I don't know what y'all are talking
about. Okay. Who was yours?
But you mentioned it a while ago, 2011, Blake Griffin, when he jumped that car. I think that's iconic. I think that's in a lot of people, everybody that watched it, and even those that didn't, always talk about it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. He did jump over a car.
I'm
going with.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm going with 1986 Spud Webb.
Ooh,
the Atlanta Hawks.
Nice.
You know why? I'm going with Spud Webb because he was little.
He was 5'5", right?
5'5". Okay, 5'4" probably. But just to watch him jump in the air and get up about 4 feet. I thought it was awesome just to see a little guy competing with those dudes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I'm honorable mention Vince Carter just because he's Vince Carter and he's still doing his thing. Vince Sanity out there doing his thing still.
He dunked the ball. Remember with his elbow? He jumped up so high.
Yeah.
And put half his arm in the rim and he just hung there. I was like, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. So again, I agree with you, Frizz. Like, these guys didn't need props. They was just
Yeah.
soaring through the air. So
But like you said before, all the stars were in it.
yeah, they were in it. I mean, nowadays you don't really know these guys. They're not stars. They're good players. So
Well, that's what's up. Check it out tonight, 9 Eastern, I believe, in Chicago, Chi-Town. Shout out Chi-Town. Stadium seats, we love you.
oh, shout out to everybody on. I know Valentine's Day was yesterday, but this is Gemz, and I promote love. So I just want to give a shout out to all the love out there.
Yeah, you know what? Round of applause for all the lovebirds out there.
Happy Valentine's Day to Frizz and Gemz.
Yep.
I did see on Twitter, I forgot who, I think it was, what is it, like podcast? Castbox that said, if you could take any podcast host on a date, who would it be? And I have to admit, I put both of y'all.
Oh, okay.
And you're paying.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I ain't paying.
I'll show y'all some love.
I ain't
love.
paying.
You got the red bottoms, right? You can afford
I'm
it.
taking y'all to Burger King or McDonald's, and you are not allowed to supersize it, okay?
I like
It's all
Whoppers. Whoppers are one of my favorite meals.
Hey, it's all good.
Did you get anything from your special somebody, Gemz?
I did.
Okay, before you answer, I got to stop you. Do y'all believe, I want a male's perspective on this because it's really hard as a female to get stuff for a male. Do y'all believe that Valentine's is more of a female holiday or celebratory day, or is it for both male and females? I mean, I think it's for both male and females, but I think it's more for the female. Do y'all agree or disagree?
Go ahead, Frizz. You first. Go ahead, Frizz.
I agree. Female. Yeah.
You agree? It's mostly. So as a male,
yeah, I'm not expecting much.
No, me neither.
It's for girls. It's for the women.
It's mostly for girls. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard as a woman when you're trying to get some, like, I'm cool with birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas and stuff like that. But Valentine's, it's so hard. Like, what do you get a guy? Flowers?
No.
Get them socks.
Absolutely not.
Socks.
Socks?
Sweatpants.
Okay.
Slippers.
So what did you get, Gemz?
Socks.
Okay.
Sweatpants. Nice. Just the normal guy thing. I don't really expect much. I like to give. Like, love is love. Gemz, love, right? So it's not really it's really not about me. It's about her. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's all about her. So
what about you, Tay? Did you get anything from that special somebody?
I did. Let me first say that I feel loved every day of the year. It doesn't just take Valentine's to feel loved. But
shout out to that lucky man.
He is a wonderful man. But he went out of his way and he got me some really nice jewelry. He got me a massage. I have to schedule that, by the way. Tons of candy because, in case I wasn't sweet enough, now I am.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. This is okay.
That's what's up. I got a bear that dances.
A bear? That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a swole mate bear. It's tight.
It's a swole mate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says,
you got to put that on Twitter.
You know what? I will. I'll
put
post that on Twitter.
That's awesome.
I'll put a little video of it dancing. Frizz's Valentine's Day gift and my all-time favorite gummy candy. I got some gummy candy, so that's awesome. So shout out to Valentine's Day.
Shout out to love, man. It's all about love out there.
Right. And you can show love every day. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stadium Seats is about to talk about the cheating scandal, the Houston Astros. They came out with some apologies. They're in spring training. They're down there working out. Every team has reported. They're trying to work on their craft. Before we start talking about it, I know this is a touchy subject for Tay because she's a big Houston Astros fan.
I am, and I still am.
Yeah, you still are. It's your squad. But before we break it down and you guys can explain a little bit what was said, Dusty Baker, the new appointed manager, to the Astros, came out and said to the MLB he wants to urge the league to protect them from beanballs or retaliation for certain pitchers and teams from saying, you know what, you cheated. I'm throwing one in your left ear hole right now. Which is a safety issue, if you ask me, because, you got guys throwing 100-mile-an-hour that can actually, hurt somebody very, very severely. But he came out with a statement, just said he just wants to put a stop to this seemingly premeditated retaliation that he's hearing about, which is a good job by Dusty Baker for, just coming into the organization and the team and protecting his guys, because technically this is his job on the line too if he doesn't win, right? So there are gonna be people that throw at them. Don't get me wrong. And a few of them are kind of upset. So what's your take on this, guys? And we'll ask Tay here in a little bit what her take on the cheating scandal really was, because we never really got her take because she was out when we kind of talked about it. So Gemz, what do you got?
Well, I know that, I know that there's a lot of Major League Baseball players that are not happy with the Astros. They think the apology is weak and their lack of punishment, was just like they didn't really get punished at all, So I think that if you're going to create devices, if you're going to cheat, steal, and try to destroy the game, you're putting like a damper on Major League Baseball. Okay. And I just don't think there's a place for that. Now, I know Tay feels a certain type of way about it because that's her home team and she really supports the Astros. But you know what? They played in the World Series numerous of times and they won in the World Series. And a year ago, right? So, they were cheating. And, to create devices and to create a scheme or a blueprint to get an edge by cheating, like that's just taking it a little bit overboard. Now, I know certain people may say, well, everybody does it. Yeah, everybody does it. Everybody tries to steal signs and try to get an advantage, but not everybody's creating devices. Okay, like you're just going a little bit overboard with that. So now when I go and play the Houston Astros, and if I lose to them, I'm like, who cares? We lost. They cheated. There's no more respect there. The winning environment, the atmosphere, the electricity in that ballpark is totally, totally gone if you're not a Houston Astros fan. No one's really going to respect you. Frizz, does anybody still respect the New England Patriots when they go up there? A lot of people still don't. They're like, all right, they're cheaters.
They're cheaters, yeah.
They're cheaters, right? That'll never go away. Bill Belichick's going to be one of the best coaches, but he still has that asterisk against his name there about cheating, So this is going to be the same thing with the Houston Astros, and it's unfortunate. And I know the Major League Baseball is trying to cover up a little bit because we haven't heard everything. So that's why the lack of punishment, I think, that was put out on these players, it just doesn't make sense at all. These players should have got suspended. The coaches, the whole program, the team should have been suspended for at least 1 year that could not play because they stole a championship away. They stole it from these players that play day in and day out. And I'm just going to end you with this quote, because this quote was from Strasburg, actually. He was roasting the Astros because there's a lot of players here that's very, very upset. He said, someday I'll tell my grandkids about the experience of the World Series and not really feel ashamed of it at all.
Yeah.
So that just says it in itself. So that's my take. That's my reaction on it. I mean, when I go down there to Houston, and I like H-Town. I like H-Town. I like the Houston Rockets. I like the Domino. I like everything about the city. I love the city of H-Town. I've been down there. The city showed me love. It's all love in H-Town, but come on. Like, H-Town, call a spade on this one. All right? These guys are paying millions and millions of dollars here. There's no reason to cheat. Let's just play out, ball out, and let the best man win. So that's my take on it.
We got Tay, Astros enthusiast, Astros fan.
Well, first, it's not good. It's definitely not good for the Astros organization. It's definitely not good for the MLB. I know they want to sweep it under the rug. They want it to go away. It's not going to go away. People love drama, and they're going to drag it out as much as they can. That being said, you said, Gemz, they're not the only ones. You're absolutely right. They're not the only ones. They're not the only ones that use devices. I will say they are the only ones that were ratted out, and they are the only ones that were ratted out in public. Therefore, they are the only ones that were being investigated. Why?
And the only ones that are tainted now.
Right, because the MLB was quick to say, we investigated, it's closed. We will no longer investigate any sign stealing, cheating scandal for the rest of the MLB. So because they were the only ones to get publicly ratted out, they were the only ones put in this situation. That just scratched the surface. They're not willing to investigate anything else. Why? Because they weren't publicly ratted out. They felt that they needed to do an investigation because they were publicly put out there. So they had to do something about it. I get it. We are where we are. Things happen. And we're at this point now where the Astros are the only ones in that situation. They have to get over it. They did it. I mean, they admitted to it. I'm pretty sure there's other teams out there, but they were not ratted out and they were not put out there in public.
Can I ask you a question?
Therefore, absolutely.
Can I ask you a question? So you mentioned that they weren't the only team that were stealing signs, and I agree with that. I think if a ball club has the chance to, steal a sign, they will. So I get that. But you said that they're not the only team that created devices. Who else created devices?
Well, it's not out there publicly. It's not out there publicly, but there are teams that I'm sure are doing the same thing or were doing the same thing. Right now, everybody, I guess, is on their best behavior because the MLB is under the radar when it comes to that. The MLB has said that they're not going to investigate any more Astros or any other team for stealing signs because, in my opinion, when they started their investigation, they found a whole lot more and they knew that it was going to be bad for the whole MLB. But they had to, for the public eye, for the public appearance, they had to investigate the Astros. And they did due diligence. And they did, if you ask me, it was very quick, very swift, case closed. Here's what we found. Here's the punishments. Let's move on. Why? They just wanted to get over with because there was going to be a lot more people to go down if they kept scratching the surface.
But do you agree with the punishment, though? It was nothing. The punishment, there wasn't really a punishment for the players, right?
I mean, if you ask me, what they're going through, public humiliation and all of this stuff is punishment. Is it enough? I don't know. That's not for my judgment. I don't know what enough is enough. But I don't think that they're done with their punishment. Like Dusty Baker said, when they play, they're going to be targets. And how do you protect them? I mean, I understand the feelings on both sides. Like I see both sides, and how do you protect them? Asking the MLB to step in and, come up with some kind of scheme or policy or something to protect them. You can't. Even if you come up with something, you cannot hold the hand of the opposing pitcher. You just can't.
Frizz.
Yeah.
Question. You play ball. You love baseball. You were good at it. Let's say you're in the World Series, Game 7. The series is tied 3-2. You guys lose. And then a couple months comes out, the Astros cheated. How you feel?
Yeah, obviously on the opposing team, you're feeling kind of, down. But
no, but okay, that perspective I want you to talk to.
Here's the thing.
I want you to talk to the other perspective too. If you're on the Astros, how do you feel?
I feel like I don't deserve to win the championship. I feel like I cheated the great game of baseball. I feel like I needed to cheat to beat that other team, and but look, when it comes down to it, baseball is a very, very hard game to play because you're basically, and especially when you get into the bigs, okay, you're guessing a lot of pitches, right? Because of how hard they throw. Um, you know, you're sitting for that perfect pitch. You got to have a good eye. You got to, lock in, zero into that pitcher. So, for instance, if you're a good fastball hitter, you're looking for a fastball wherever your power zone is or wherever you hit it better. So you're always looking for that ball to be on the inner half of the plate or whatnot, and you're looking to turn on a fastball. And it just depends because there's a lot of different hitters, okay? Or you're an off-speed hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're looking for a curveball. You're looking for that pitcher to hang it up over the plate so you can, knock it out of the park or hit it into the gap or hit it the other way. So what that cheating scandal is to me is it's giving a leg up on the batters because they're stealing the signs, the catcher signs from somewhere, and it's still kind of hard to do because if you ask me, in the major leagues and higher levels are given 2 or 3 or 4 signs on their fingers, catchers. So I caught a little bit, you're not all, so, fastball 1, curveball 2, whatever, 3, slider, whatever that pitcher has in the arsenal. So if you want to show a fastball, you'll flash 3, 5, 1, 2 or whatever, and then that third sign is fastball, and then you're given the location on your inner thighs or whatnot. But yeah, it's giving a leg up on the batter because I'm hearing something from the dugout saying off-speed pitch. Okay, now I'm sitting back. Okay, I know an off-speed pitch is coming. I'm able to get, because it's all about timing, right? So I'm able to sit back and wait for that curveball. Okay. Or I'm getting a sign for fastball. Oh man, I'm rearing off on this one. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my take is on it. It's just giving a leg up offensively.
But would you feel comfortable being a Houston Astro right now?
No, absolutely not. Not yet. I mean, until
What do you mean not yet? I'm talking about when you won the World Series, when you cheated. Do you still feel comfortable in your own skin?
Not yet. I mean, I'd have to get through a couple weeks of the season coming up in order to start feeling comfortable again, especially when they go on the road.
You're missing my question. Let me repeat this question again.
Yeah, I'm answering your question.
No, you're not. When you won the World Series as the Houston Astro and you cheated to win.
Still pride in putting and continue to wear that uniform.
Yes. That's the question.
Because they're paying me $50 million. Hell yeah.
Then you're no different than the other ones. Then.
I mean,
you're no difference.
Show me the money.
You're no different.
Well, neither are you.
Shame on you. You're no different.
No, shame on you, Gemz.
You're no different.
I'm a Pirate fan. I could care less.
Yeah,
we're horrible.
Frizz.
We're not talking about the Pirates. Please don't bring them up.
I just had to bring it up.
Frizz wishes that the Pirates would steal some signs so they could win a couple games.
Absolutely. Come on, Pittsburgh. Start stealing signs. Let's go.
But the Astros are where they are right now. I absolutely believe that whether it showed or not, that their apologies are sincere. Are they hurting? Yes. Do they feel shameful? Yes. Do they know that the fans and opposing teams are going to come after them? Yes, they know that. They have to prove themselves, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to take a lot of time to get past that. And it may not ever happen.
I can't wait to see them go on the road.
Well, they're going to get beamed for sure. Like,
there's going to be signs. There's going to be shirts. Cheaters, boo. I'm going to love it, but lucky the Dodgers and the Astros do not play in spring training. I looked, or the regular season. They don't face off, until possibly the World Series if they both make it. So that's going to be interesting, but I imagine bench clearing brawl. bench clearing brawl if that would happen if they would face each other, but they're not going to.
And one last thing, let me just say that they were found guilty, or there was a lot of evidence found not in their favor for cheating in 2017, not in 2018, and not in 2019. So for people that are saying, oh yeah, they've been cheating the past 3 years or whatnot, the MLB did not find anything for 2018 or 2019.
2019 was last year.
That it was only for 2017. Not that it makes it any better. Cheating is cheating, but for people that are saying, oh yeah, they're cheating for the past 3 years, it was 2017.
Hey, we'll see what happens.
Cheaters.
We ain't got much time to talk about it, but Tay, give us a brief update on the XFL game going on right now.
XFL. We got New York going against DC. DC's up by 18-0. They're in the third quarter with 2 minutes left.
Okay. New York Guardians. Matt McGloin's a QB for the Guardians. He's having a horrible day. You know, today after this game, we have the Tampa Bay Vipers, who I kind of picked. We'll ask you who you're rooting for, and I think I know who, Tay. It's probably Houston, right?
Well, you see, this is new to me, so I really hadn't read up on it because I thought it was going to be like the AFL, was it called?
Yeah.
That league that kind of didn't last very long or whatnot. So I thought, it's going to die pretty quick. But I was watching a little bit of it, and it's actually really interesting. So some of the stuff in there is different, like when they when they kick the ball. Mm-hmm. It's different. They're allowed to interview the players like right after every play if they choose to. Some of the things are different. I like it.
So who's your team?
Liking to it.
Houston.
Well, Dallas has a team and Houston has a team. I haven't seen either of them.
So who are you rooting for?
I don't know. I'm inclined to both. I haven't seen them. I have to see them.
Well, Gemz, my team, the Tampa Bay Vipers, is going that's who I'm rooting for, and they're absolutely garbage. They lost their first game. They're going to Seattle today, and then tomorrow the Renegades and the Wildcats are going at it. And then the St. Louis Battlehawks and the Houston Roughnecks are going at it too. The only thing I see different in this league, Gemz and Tay, is the quarterback play is not the greatest. I like the line play, like me and Gemz talked about before when you weren't on. I like the defensive schemes. I love how the coaches call the play, but the quarterback play is not too good.
No, it's suspect, and but I'm cheering for Houston. Shout out to the Galleria. Shout out to the Galleria down there.
Yeah, definitely.
Galleria.
So the attendance for these games is increased, and last week they averaged about 17,000 to 18,000. This I don't know what the attendance is of this game right now, but it looks pretty full.
They have pretty good attendance from what I can see, like on the stands, on the seats. I was like, wow, they got pretty good attendance, more than the Pirates.
Yeah, this is going to be. I think this is going to be a great situation with the XFL. It's just the quarterback play got to get better. Need more
absolutely
quarterbacks.
And then that leads us to, Landry Jones being the most experienced QB in that league. I know, ex-Pittsburgh Steeler backup, Oklahoma star, but he is the most experienced guy there. He sat behind Big Ben for many years, and we've seen him, Steeler fans. We've seen him at the helm, and I mean, he did a few good things, but obviously that's why he's not in the NFL anymore. But if he's your best guy,
quarterback play needs help.
Yeah, the Houston Roughnecks got a pretty good guy.
The Roughnecks. Where do they come up with these names?
Well, the Roughnecks have the kind of the old Houston Oilers kind of emblem on their helmet.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
The oil field being in Texas. So, roughneck, like that's your job. So kind of like blue collar, kind of cool. I like it. I really do. So since we're talking about the Houston Roughnecks and we talked about the Houston Astros, we have a pretty big following on our show from Houston in H-Town.
What up, H-Town?
So where could you go latte in Houston to maybe grab a bite to eat, maybe, hang out and watch a game, something like that.
Houston's big on sports. Like you mentioned, they have the Houston Astros, they have the Renegades now, they have the Rockets, they have the Houston Dynamo, the soccer team. And and Houston's huge.
You know what it is? It's
Houston
very
is
broad.
huge. It's like to get from one end of the town to the other, it takes over an hour. And you're still in Houston. Like it takes over an hour to get from Houston to Houston.
When I went to Houston and went to an Astros game, Astros versus Pirates game, and they crushed us. But we did beat them though. So haha.
Do you think they were stealing signs?
No. Biggio's, Craig Biggio. He owns a bar there in Houston on Walker Street. Okay, I went
downtown.
there. Yeah, I went there to eat, and it was awesome. It was a cool vibe. They have a bunch of TV screens, and it's real open. And
there's tons of venues. If you're like by the Minute Maid Park area downtown, by the convention center area, there's just unlimited venues where you can eat anything from seafood, Tex-Mex, Mexican, Italian, pizza, burgers. I mean, you name it, they got it.
No
all
doubt.
Within walking distance. Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed also at the stadium there at Minute Maid. I like Torchy's Tacos. Shout out to Torchy's Tacos.
Absolutely. When in Houston, you have to try Torchy's Tacos.
Yeah, so Gemz, that's pretty cool. Like you have to make your way down there to a ball game. I know you've been to H-Town, but you've never really been to a ball game.
Right. I got to get down there, and I'll have my binoculars on, see if anybody's cheating down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Houston got the soccer team, the Dynamo. So shout out to them.
Absolutely.
Let's start talking about them. Let's start, let's giving them more love on the show.
Yeah.
Houston is a big sports area. Like if you're not into basketball, you're into soccer, into baseball, and I'm sure there's more that I'm missing.
Yeah, we're probably missing some. We're probably missing some.
Hey, Frizz, what about like high school football down there? And the
oh, man.
Oh, my God.
I know it's
that's a big area, Texas high school football's huge. Being in the profession actually for 15 years now, I've first-handedly experienced it. It blows your mind. The stadiums are
oh my God!
The stadiums are
like NFL stadiums,
out of this world. They're better than a lot of D3 schools, D2 schools up north.
Wow.
Yeah, the fans are just. I mean, you average probably with the bigger schools in the 6As and the 5As, you average maybe about 10,000 a night. On a Friday night. Friday night lights, man. It's Texas.
Big in Texas.
It's huge. I'm glad you mentioned that because it's a huge deal. And it's basically you're living and breathing football in Texas, especially during the start of the fall or like leaning towards the end of that summer. There's just the craze in the air for all high school football programs because even if you don't have a son or you're not you live in the community. If you live in the community, just like that movie, man, the towns will shut down. The small towns, they will shut down.
That's right.
For Friday night.
5A and 6A, the larger districts, but even the 3 and the 4A, they are huge in Texas football. I would say even bigger than the 5A and 6A because the towns are split up more because there's more students.
Yes.
But the smaller towns that are 3A and 4A, they are a one school town.
Yeah. So
and the town shuts down.
It's crazy,
Friday
Gemz.
night.
It is absolutely crazy, but it's exciting, man. So we need to start talking about more stuff like that, and we will. We'll talk about some high school football and stuff like that, and high school sports as we move on in the future of our show in our program. But let's do that, Gemz. And off air, we talked, and we're going to start highlighting different cities.
Yep.
And we're going to start talking about
the Houston Dynamo,
where we have been. Just like we just talked about Houston a little bit. Next show, we'll talk about a different city. And on Twitter, if you're on Twitter and you listen to us and you follow us, drop your city in our in our DM or email us and
let us know who you're repping.
Yeah, and then we can do some research, or we'd love to have, your question on the show and tell us what your city is all about, right, Gemz?
Yeah, absolutely. We're ready.
So we definitely want to do that. And, tell us your favorite bar, your favorite, place to go eat, favorite sport to watch in your town. I don't care if it's in Idaho.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it, stadium seats. Frizz, Gemz, and Tay.
Hey.
At Seats Stadium. We are at 1,300 followers on our Twitter.
Woo-hoo.
Hit us up, stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com, and download us, man. Listen to us. You will really enjoy our show.
I promise.
Yeah. Love.
Okay. Also, one other thing. Love. Always. Valentine's Day. That was for you, Gemz.
Weekend.
Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back on Monday night with our next show. Holler at us.
Chocolate.
Frizz, Gemz, Tay.
Hey,
Stadium Seats. We're the best in the world. We're the best in podcasting. Yo, Gemz, let them know.
Red bottom tape. Frizz on the way. Gemz on the mic, and you know he don't play. Every seat packed. The fans go cray. Stream after stream, now what they gon' say. Frizz on the beat, Tay brings the heat. Stadium seats without Gemz ain't complete. The tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans that been rocking with us lately. Love.
Stadium seats. Frizz, Gemz, Tay. We the